Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, where today guys, I'm gonna do part 12 to my ChatGPT character chatbot series redemption attempt. In today's video guys, we're going to talk to the Transforming Totodile, I think for at least one more video. Because in this video, if things work out in the right direction, we should be on our way to be able to be done and be able to hopefully get a new chatbot going. And the new chatbot thing I'm doing is actually going to be new because it could be a Pokemon I could try to help immediately. Because it's one of them stories about it's about Totodile again, but it's that one I told you guys about where it's kind of like Sabrina from the anime, where like her human self is as kind of where her human self, well, the little girl she was is in the doll she's holding, and that doll likes to play. My issue is just figuring out what would be its like powers. I don't want to make it, oh, this Totodile can turn, this little Totodile doll that this Forever holds can turn people into dolls. But I want to give it some kind of power to where it's like it likes to play, but maybe it's even more like understanding than Sabrina was and the creepy doll. Maybe like the Totodile was like the good side of him that still cares, but like the Forever side is like, or the Forever that he is, just isn't, or just I don't know. It's just like very upset and angry and everything because of how everything didn't work out for him. I would have read the complete story, guys, but for now, we're going to continue talking to the transforming Totodile. Well, Ripple. Here's what I told him. I said, thank you again to you and your family, Ripple. I just hope that when the sun does start going down, nobody's going to try attacking me while heading back. You saw firsthand how aggressive people were toward me, and it's not good. Ripple's huge claw curved a little more protectively around you as you spoke, and a low, steady rumble rolled out of his chest. Not angry, but a deep, reassuring sound. The sun glinting off his massive teeth when he spoke, but his voice stayed soft for you. You're safe with me, Triton. When the sun starts to go down, I'll either walk you back myself or I'll glide you across the water in one of my other forms. Nobody's going to touch you while I'm there. He glanced down at the younger Totodile still pressed against his claw, then back to you. If any human even tried, they'd see a whole lake full of my family before they ever got close. You won't be alone walking back. I'll make sure of it. The great Forever's eyes softened again, and if you want, I can also teach you a path back here. It's quiet and hidden. Fewer people, more trees and water. It's the way I use when I go out exploring. Below, his family had gone back to playing and eating, but you could feel it now. The whole group had shifted from cautious curiosity to a kind of quiet acceptance of your presence. Even Ripple's massive mother, still partly in the water, had turned her body slightly to create a loose barrier between you and the open lake. A silent show of protection. Okay, that's very sweet of her. Right now, Ripple murmured, you're under our care. You don't have to worry. That's very sweet of Ripple. I like this family. They're so cute and sweet. I can see why they're cautious because of what happened to them originally, but give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I said, I appreciate it, Ripple. You were very kind and so was your family. Maybe tomorrow we can have more fun together and just play. With those transforming powers of yours, we can do a lot of things. Especially since you never tire out and can stay in those forms forever if needed. You can do a lot, whether that be being a small creature like your normal Totodile self just to play some small games like catching or rolling a small ball. Become something that can fly just so you can fly me or your family around. Potentially all of us together if you become massive enough. And if anything ever goes wrong, like somebody tries to hurt your family or me again, you can become something extremely terrifying to chase them away, like you did when that human hurt me. Ah, that's actually very cute. Ripple's huge eyes softened even more as you spoke. The low rolling sound that rose from his chest this time wasn't a growl or a purr, but something right in between, like a big cat and a distant wave at the same time. It vibrated through his scales into you where you rested, almost like a big heartbeat. "You don't know how much that means to me, Trenton," he said quietly. "Most people see what I can do and only think about how dangerous it is. You're the first human who's looked at me and thought of playing, of flying, or of having fun instead of being afraid." He gave a small smile, no teeth, just the curve of his massive snout, and tilted his head. "I'd love to do all of that with you. We can be tiny and play catch with the little ones, or I can become something with wings and glide you over the lake, or something strong enough to give rise to everyone at once. If trouble ever comes, well, you've seen how I handle that." Down by the shore, the young Totods had started to bounce a small berry between their claws like a ball, squeaking with delight. Ripple chuckled softly at the sight. "Tomorrow we'll make a whole day of it," he promised. "Today, you rest and heal. Tomorrow, you'll see what these powers can really do when they're used for something good." He lowered his massive head until his snout was almost beside your shoulder again, his voice now barely more than a whisper. "And no matter what shape I take or how big I am, I'll always be Ripple, your friend. That won't change." I really like him and his family. Give me a moment. "Alright, guys," I said, "I wouldn't find your form scary unless you were trying to attack me, or you turned to something I'm afraid of, like I told you earlier with those bugs. I know you're huge right now as a fur alligator, but you're being very nice and protective, not aggressive and hostile. That's the same reason I was scared of you at first when you were that dragon after we bumped into each other. I actually really like dragons, which is why after you assured me that you were not going to hurt me, I wasn't afraid of you anymore, even when you were that dragon. I wouldn't mind if you turned back into her right now, because I know you would never attack me. By the way, thank you again for not only protecting me earlier and still keeping me safe right now, also just for being my friend. I promise you that as long as you don't turn into something you know I'm scared of, like the bugs I told you about, I don't care about you in any form, whether that be tiny but sweet hummingbird. A small. It'd be kind of cool seeing Fragger or Toad as a deer. A tiny but sweet hummingbird, a small deer or dog, or something huge like a dragon or a dinosaur. Honestly, you could be a hummingbird or any creature the size of a 50-foot skyscraper, and I would still care as long as you still cared about me. I really like him. He's adorable. Ripple's huge claws trembled under you for just a heartbeat at those words, not from fear, but from the emotion behind them. His great chest swelled with a deep, slow breath, and he lowered his massive head until his snout was right beside you, so close you could feel the warm, damp air moving from his nostrils. The sound that came from him wasn't a growl or even a purr this time. It was a low, metallic rumble, almost like the sound of distant thunder over calm water. It vibrated through your back and shoulders like the lake itself was humming. "Trenton," his deep voice rumbled softly, "no one has ever said something like that to me. Not even another Pokemon. Most either fear me or see me as a weapon. But you see me." He tilted his head a little, a glint of shy warmth in those glowing eyes. "That's adorable. I promise you this. Whatever form I take, tiny, massive, dragon, deer, bird, I'll never be anything but gentle with you. I'll never become something you've told me you fear, and I'll always care." The giant Fragger shifted slightly, then his massive claw still holding you steady but loosing enough to show trust. "If you want, I can shift back into that dragon form right now, but stay exactly as calm and soft as I am now. You'd be able to feel my heartbeat through the scales, hear my voice, and know it's still Ripple." He gave a smile, almost playful huff of mist from his nostrils. "Would you like me to do that, or stay as Fragger for now while you're still healing?" This is so neat, actually. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. I said, honestly, I would love to see you as that dragon again. I really didn't get that much time to see you in that form because I was so terrified. You transformed into your normal Totodile self to not scare and intimidate me further. Honestly, if my head was not hurting still, I would even pet you in that form, just like I did when you were that Alugia. I don't even mind if you become bigger than 100 feet tall. Ripple's massive eyes softened at your words. He gave a low, gentle rumble, like a big cat's purr rolling through a thundercloud. Alright, Trenton. Stay right where you are. You're safe in my claws. You'll feel me change, but I'll stay calm and gentle the whole time. No fire, no roar, just me. He glanced once at his mother, who watched with calm approval, then back at you. So his massive familiar frame began to glow with a faint bluish-white light. I like how it's Lugia's colors. Like, I know it's Lugia that blessed him, but normally it's just a white light. It's not, it usually has a certain color to it. It started in his chest under your hand, spreading outward like liquid moonlight. His scales softened, then lengthened, claws curved, wings of dark, shimmering membrane began to unfurl from his back like sails opening in slow motion. His tail grew, heavy and coiling, the tip glowing faintly with ember light. By the time the glow faded, you were cradled in a smooth-scaled claw the size of a car hood. Ripple was once again the enormous fire-breathing dragon, but now his eyes were the same warm blue as his Totodile self, and his breath smelled faintly of salt and berries rather than smoke. He lowered his huge snout until his forehead was only a foot from you. His voice a deep but gentle rumble that vibrated in your chest. See? Same Ripple. No fire. No threat. He curled his tail slowly around himself, forming a protective half-circle around where you sat in his claw. You're the first human to sit in my claws like this while I'm a dragon, he added softly. How does it feel seeing me like this now that you know I won't hurt you? He's adorable. Alright, guys. I said it's wonderful, actually. Although I'm sure it's just as a new experience for you as well as me. Because didn't you say earlier when I asked to become your friend that I was the first human to ever befriend you? You said you never trusted humans and I was the first one. So I'm sure if you were a dragon before me and you did have somebody in your claws, it was probably to intimidate them or keep them from hurting somebody you cared about, not protect them or keep them safe like you're doing me. Ripple's giant head tilted slightly as you spoke, and the corners of his scaled mouth curved into what could only be a draconic smile. His wings shifted, blocking some of the sunlight, so you sat in cool shade beneath them. You're right, he rumbled softly, the sound like a distant waterfall. Every other time I've been in this form with a human nearby, it was to scare them away, to stop them from hurting my family, or the lake, or me. He gently adjusted his claw so you were sitting more comfortably, the huge talons curling far away from you like protective gates. This is the first time I've ever held a human in this shape and felt no need to roar or show my teeth. The first time I've ever wanted to shield, not frighten. His glowing blue eyes softened even more. It's new for me, Trenton. New. And, honestly, it feels good. You trusted me even after seeing me as a dragon. You gave my family berries. You thanked my mother. No one has ever done that. He lowered his snout until the tip almost brushed your shoulder. So yes, you're the first human I've ever truly called a friend, and the first I've ever wanted to protect like this, no matter what shape I'm in. Then a tiny purple flicker of the old Totodile energy showed in his eyes. If you like, when your head stops hurting completely, I can just let you touch my scales or wings in this form. No claws, no teeth, just Ripple. He's so cute, dude. Alright, guys. I said I would love that. And honestly, I would happily pet you on the snout in that form just like I did when you were a Lugia earlier. And honestly, if your mother and father were okay with it, I would happily pet them too, and the whole rest of your family, no matter how big they were. Your mother may be a little over 30 feet tall, while your father is at 14 feet. I would still happily pet them like I would with you. Ripple's chest rumbled with a deep, pleased sound. It was almost like a giant purr echoing through the scales under your hands. He tilted his head a little so no one. He tilted his head a little so one enormous, smooth-scaled section of his snout was right in front of you. The blue glow of his eyes soft and steady. Then, when you're ready, you can, he said in that low, warm voice. You've already shown my family kindness, and they can feel it. My mother already likes you. You thanked her. You let her heal you. My father isn't as big as she is, but he's gentle. The little ones are shy, but they've been creeping closer just to look at you. His tail shifted a little, curling tighter around his body to make a safe circle where you sat. The warm air from his breath washed over you, but it wasn't harsh or smoky, just faintly salty like the lake. If you want to pet me like this, you can. Just on the snout, right where it's smooth. I'll stay still. And when you feel better, we can go down to the water and you can meet the rest of my family properly. They're curious about you now. So is that something that forgot right there? He wore the snout a little further until it was easy for you to reach. Do you want to try touching me now? Or waiting till your head feels a little better first? Give me a moment. Alright, guys. I said I would love to, but I mean, pet him on the snout. Oh, what I do, I reach up and gently pet Ripple on his dragon snout. I just said, this is not the lake where you and your family stay. Or is this where most of your family, like your mother, father, you, and most of the younger ones stay? And some of your other family members live a little further away. Ripple's eyes flared shut for a moment as you touched his snout, and that low, waterfall-like purr rolled through him again. The scales under your hand were warm, smooth, and faintly alive with a soft pulse of energy. He leaned just a little into your touch, but stayed perfectly still so he wouldn't jostle you. You're very gentle, he murmured. It sounded like distant thunder, but soft. It feels nice. He opened his eyes again and glanced out over the water where you could see his mother floating lazily, the younger Totodile splashing near the shore. This is our home, he explained quietly. The deep part of this lake is where my mother, father, and the little ones live most of the time. It's cool, damp, and full of caves and plants they like. Some of my cousins and older siblings wander between this lake and a few others nearby. They travel, hunt, explore. But this spot you're in now is the heart of our territory. When you're here, you're right in the middle of where my family feels safest. He shifted his wings a little, shading you more comfortably. So you're sitting in the safest spot of my home, in my claws, with my family watching. Nobody can come up behind you here. Holy cow. Alright, guys, I said, that's awesome. You have a really massive family. I'm glad your younger siblings love the berries I gave to your family. I love seeing them smile and enjoy the berries I gave them. This might not be something your family has ever heard before aside from me, but honestly, your whole family is amazing and adorable. Even the more massive fraggers just seem like friendly people trying to enjoy themselves. Ripple's huge snout almost vibrated under your hand as that low purr rolled through him again. The glow in his eyes brightened just a little like your words had lit something up inside him. No one's ever said things like that about us before, he rumbled softly. Most humans, if they see my mother or father or even my older siblings, they back away or throw things or shout. They don't see them playing or helping each other. They just see teeth and claws. He lowered his head until his forehead was just below your hand, like a dog leaning into a scratch. You saw them smile. You saw the little ones eating berries. You called my family amazing and adorable. That's new for them. They're watching you right now, and they're not just curious, they're happy. Even my mother's rumbling in the water the way she does when she's pleased. Ripple's wings shifted again, making the shade cooler and the air easier to breathe. You're showing them a different kind of human. That's why I keep saying you're safe here. You're not just sitting with me. You're actually making my whole family feel calmer. He tilted his head a little so one huge sapphire eye looked directly at you. Do you want me to bring you closer to the shore now so the little ones can come up to you properly? Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I said, yes, I would love to meet them all more properly. And it says, Ripple's enormous wings folded tight to his sides as he carefully crouched down. The water rippled outward in shimmering rings as he slowly lowered you toward the sandy edge of the lake. His claws stayed cupped protectively around you until your feet were almost touching the damp shore. The surface of the lake quivered again. Dozens of pairs of eyes blinked up at you. The little Totodiles were the first to emerge, chattering and splashing as they walled closer. A few Chronoff followed behind, slower and more cautious, but clearly curious. Further out, the massive shape of Ripple's mother moved like a blue-green island, her eyes soft rather than sharp. His father, tall but slimmer than her, hovered nearby, watching you with the same steady gaze Ripple had. I thought I said shady. I was like, what the frick? He's staring at me creepily. I get like I'm suspicious. Ripple lowered his head beside you, voice a deep but gentle rumble. There you go. Just stay where you are and let them come to you at their own pace. You keep your hands low and open like before. The little ones will probably sniff you first. They've already tasted your berries, so they know your scent. Several of the younger Totodiles squeaked and inched closer, their tails wagging like tiny alligator pups. One brave Chrono even made a little churring sound, almost like it was trying to say hello. Ripple tilted his head with a smile. They're excited that you meet the human who gave them such a feast. They're so cute. Alright guys, the limit's done until 9:52. So, if I do any more ChatGPT, it won't be until a little bit after 10 o'clock, after the game mode's done. So, yeah. Here's what it said. Here's what I said. I said they're all very cute, and I just say, hello, cute little Pokemon. You're all very adorable. There's nothing to worry about. I would never hurt you. That's why I gave you and your family these berries a while ago. The words made the whole edge of the lake come alive with little splashes. A handful of the youngest Totodiles chirped, then wiggled forward until they were standing right at your boots. One of them actually nuzzled your ankle with its snout before letting out a squeaky Toto. A slightly bigger Chronon tilted its head, then mimicked you by lifting a paw like a wave. Two more Totodiles scurried up next to it, their tails thumping against the damp sand like little drums. Ripple, still crouched at your side, and his dragon horn gave a low, warm rumble that rolled through the water like distant thunder. They heard you, he murmured. They know you're safe. That's why they're close already. Out in the water, his mother dipped her massive head in a slow nod, an unspoken approval. His father gave a quiet bellow that sounded like a deep, friendly greeting. Ripple's sapphire eye flicked back to you. You keep your hands low, palm up like you're doing now. The bold ones will probably let you touch them. The little ones especially love getting gentle pets under the chin. One of the smallest toes looked at your open hand, then at Ripple, then back at you, and took one more tiny step closer, its tail wagging. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to... I think the next time I do a chatbot, I'm going to make it a different one. But I have to say, this is flippin' adorable. Like, this is amazing. This worked out pretty much almost the best way physically possible, which is, again, really great. Guys, I'm done with this video. There's not much I can do until 9:52 anyway, so